So you're in Acapulco right now, but where Mexico
Yeah.
City is home for you?
Yep, Mexico City's home for me. Acapulco's about 4 hours away ish.
And how long have you lived in Mexico?
I've lived in Mexico 11 years now, I think.
Wow.
Something like that.
With all of these videos you've been posting on Twitter with these issues you've been having with the police and
Oh,
man, being extorted by the police. I gotta say, like when you post these videos, I get very worried for you.
no, well, no, that's the thing. It's not one of those situations where like, oh, they're gonna take me out back and kill me or something. But the thing is, when the police do that, well, they'll plan, like they'll find something to charge you with, like which just being a foreigner and everything, it makes it a much like worse deal. And there's already one incident where like I almost was facing jail time in Mexican prison, and so I just wanted to completely avoid it. But that's the thing. Where I live, you usually it's a place called Del Valle. I probably shouldn't like dox myself, but you usually don't get anything like that. But what those police, it wasn't just me, is my entire building. They were just like doing that to everyone. Like my neighbor's son got it. Like these two guys, I call them the drunks because they're always drunk. But like, man, the police beat the crap out of them. And then there's also like there's a neighborhood schizophrenic like that we kind of just let stay in the building, and he stays in the fire escape. And then like, but he's part of the community, as weird as it sounds. And like they slapped him up, and like he doesn't have anything. He's essentially homeless. He like just does little work around the building, like for different people, and they just break him off a little bit of money. So like it was a weird situation where they just went out of control. Maybe it was other buildings too, or other areas around me, but specifically on my building. But like, if you know anyone that lives in Mexico City, they'll tell you, "Oh no, that stuff happens in like Tepito and like these, like doesn't happen in Del Valle." So it was a very rare, weird thing for it to be happening to where I live. But it wasn't like just me. Like I think a lot of people on like Twitter that thought I was specifically getting targeted, like for being a foreigner or something. And no, they were just getting everybody. I think the reason they specifically kept coming back for me is the very first time that they got me is I had like $200 American on me, because I just always have the $200 American in my pocket or in my wallet as like emergency money. And then I had another like 2 or 3 thousand pesos on me, which I usually don't keep that. So it looked like I was this big score, like to keep coming back to. But man, I do have to admit, it was scary that every time you left, like you had to be worried, because if the elevator is closed, well, in the building I live in, then I just take like the stairs. But man, there were 2 different times I'd walk around the corner to the stairs and boom, like there they are. And so I'm like, are you waiting for me for hours? Like, what is going on? So like in total, I think they ended up getting like 7,000 pesos out of just me. I don't know
And
about.
what's the conversion there? How many dollars is 7,000 pesos?
Around 350. So like not.
So they kind of corner you and try to arrest you for something or plant something on you. That's how this happens.
Yeah, the first time it was this giant bag of weed, and then like that's the thing is, if just with the reputation I have, if you try to tell people, if I try to tell people like the weed wasn't mine, like they just don't believe me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Jack, come on. But I was like, no, this really wasn't mine. This was this huge bag, because if it's 5 grams or less or something, I don't know what the laws are. And then after that, it started to get worse. They didn't plant anything on me, but they just said like I smelled like weed. And then so they checked me, and I didn't have my passport on me. And it's never enforced. I've never seen it, but I guess it's technically a law that if you're a foreigner, you're supposed to have a form of identification on you, like at all times, like either your FM2, your residency, or your passport. I didn't have either of them on me. Like I just, like I don't know anyone from, like, you know what I mean? You don't do that. Like it's never. I've never actually had anyone ask me for it. So then they pretended they were going to arrest me for that, and I kind of tried to resist, except like they pushed it to where they. I didn't want to try to call their bluff. I'm like, man, they might try to take me down and do something. So then they got me a second time, and then on the third time, that's when like right when I crossed the corner and I saw him, I just went and I ran. And then there's one thing I do know in Mexico is that they're very strict with the police coming into your house without I don't know what they call it here, but basically a search warrant.
Sure.
So the guy actually tried to follow me into my house. So man, it doesn't sound like something I normally do, but I turned around and I pushed him on his ass, and then that's when I started to record. And I was so mad. But man, the thing is, when you get that emotional, my Spanish went out the window, so it's like the worst Spanish in the world. but yeah, and then what I got lucky though is that they were saying I was a liar, and they were going to call like other people to come or whatever. Is my neighbor's son came out, and they had robbed him just a couple days before. So then it like really turned into this neighborhood thing. So it's not even all recorded, but like they actually started to kind of get mobbed with like the local like people of the building, and then they just left, and they've never come like back to my building. The only time I've ever seen them is once on the corner in front of this thing called Oxo. It's basically like 7-Eleven, and like I just like avoided all eye contact. Like I didn't want to mess with them. But
Look,
besides that, like
my
there's never
Spanish
been
isn't
anything
very
else.
good, but I definitely can hear you saying ridiculoso, which I assume
Yeah,
means
yeah,
ridiculous. Like you're calling out the police, and I
yeah.
just worry for your safety when you're doing this.
No, I don't think they're going to do anything because again, as bad as it is like you have to worry more about police corruption in like Avario or something. Where I live, it's like this middle class area, so like they don't want to bring anything down on that voting block like that. Like there's political things, so
So you're
I
saying
should be
they're not
okay.
going to make you disappear or anything like that? That's something we have to worry about.
No, I highly doubt it, just because I get it. Just it would turn into an incident forum in an area that it shouldn't. Like where you really have to worry about the police in Mexico is like in honestly the poorer areas. Like if you're in a Tepito or something,
Yeah.
like they might get you. But like in Del Valle, like I'm surprised they even took it that far. Like I don't think I thought that they didn't think I would like escalate it to the level I did, or anyone in my building really. So, but yeah, no, where I live, you're, yeah, like the just that stuff usually doesn't happen. Like,